The incredible life story of the Antichrist. The Antichrist appears as the greatest sign of the apocalypse. This commander, who claims divinity against God, is the most wicked person of Jewish descent. He is a creature who commands clouds, the sun, and the seas, and mesmerizes people with his gaze. The world has never seen a greater turmoil than him. Who is the Antichrist, and when will he appear? Not recognizing or identifying the Antichrist is both a great negligence and a major disaster that brings many risks. Since his arrival is one of the greatest events in the universe, and he causes destruction that even the pharaohs and Nimrods could not achieve, a special effort must be made to recognize him. Supporting the Antichrist knowingly is the greatest of all disasters and means spiritual death. In the past and present, some scholars have gone so far as to say that the extraordinary features attributed to the Antichrist make his existence impossible. However, other scholars, without attempting to reinterpret or explain, have chosen to expect the Antichrist exactly as described in the Hadiths. The first group emphasizes the impossibility, while the second group believes that in the light of God's power, everything is possible, and that such an Antichrist's arrival is not impossible if God wills it. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible for a human to be taller than a minaret, have the word kafir, meaning unbeliever, instantly written on their forehead, travel the world in 40 days, have a donkey with ears spanning 40 cubits, or for their shout to be heard worldwide. If a man with these traits appeared, everyone would know he is the Antichrist, which would contradict the test of faith. Therefore, these descriptions must have deeper meanings, so they do not seem irrational and can be understood as wise and fitting. The word kafir is written between his eyebrows. If a person had the word unbeliever clearly written on their forehead, everyone would notice it, contradicting the test of faith. Thus, this must imply something else. The Hadiths mention that the Antichrist is extraordinarily large, even taller than a minaret. Compared to Prophet Jesus, the Antichrist is so huge that when Jesus kills him, he can only strike his knee even after jumping 10 cubits high. This means the Antichrist is 10 to 20 times larger than Jesus. The depiction of the Antichrist's neck being higher than a minaret and his immense size relative to Jesus signifies his great power and influence and his significant material and political strength. From the Hadiths, we understand that figures emerging in the end times will possess extraordinary power. One interpretation could be that the number of spiritual warriors, recognizing and following Jesus with enlightened faith, will be very small compared to the Antichrist's educational, military, and material forces. From the Hadiths about the Antichrist traveling the world in 40 days, we learn that when the Antichrist appears, the whole world will hear about him. He will travel the world in 40 days, and he will have an extraordinary mount. The distance between the ears of the Antichrist's mount will be 40 cubits, approximately 27 meters. The ears of the Antichrist's mount will be as large as an elephant's. Its feet will be soft, and it will make a loud noise and emit a foul smell as it moves. When asked about this, a scholar replied, "Doesn't the car you drive resemble this description a bit? Its doors are like elephant ears, its tires are soft, and it emits both a foul smell and a noise as it moves. Alternatively, his mount could be an airplane. From the narration that the Antichrist will travel as fast as the wind, driving the clouds, we understand that he will use fast vehicles and perform his deeds quickly. The Antichrist will be known not for his evil nature, but rather as a very despotic king. His travel is not for conquering lands, but for stirring up trouble and leading people astray. One ear of his mount will resemble a fiery furnace of hell, while the other will be beautifully decorated like paradise. He will send his enemies to the fiery side and his friends to the pleasant side. Alternatively, his mount could be a terrifying car, airplane, or another vehicle. Said Nursi's explanation about the Antichrist's rapid spread in the world, is relevant here. During the time of the Antichrist, communication and transportation methods will be so advanced that a piece of news will be heard worldwide in a day, and a person could travel around the world in 40 days, seeing 7 continents and 70 countries. This narration remarkably foretells the discovery of trains, cars, buses, and airplanes 10 centuries before they were invented. The Antichrist will have 2 rivers flowing beside him, one appearing as white water and the other as bright fire. Whoever reaches him should go to the river that appears as fire and drink from it, for that bright fire-like river is actually cold water. Another narration mentions that the Antichrist will have mountains of bread and water with him. In another hadith, it is stated that he will have his heaven and hell, but his heaven is actually hell, and his hell is actually heaven. He will throw those who follow him into his heaven, and those who do not into his hell. In a hadith, it is clearly stated that the community which does not recognize and reject the Antichrist will face famine and their possessions will be confiscated. Conversely, those who accept him will be blessed with abundance. When the Antichrist appears, he will shout so loudly that everyone in the east and west will hear him. Under normal circumstances, no human voice can be heard worldwide, no matter how loud it is. If this were possible, everyone would recognize the Antichrist, which contradicts the nature of the test. Since our prophet mentioned this, it is true and accurate, but it has an interpretation. Today we know that devices like radios and television can broadcast any speech to the entire world instantly. This means the Antichrist will emerge during a time when technology is highly advanced, and he will use these devices to carry out his actions. One reason for the Antichrist's strong appearance is his use and exploitation of these extraordinary tools and devices. The Prophet Muhammad's foresight about the invention of telegraphs, telephones, radios, and televisions centuries before they were discovered, and indicating that the Antichrist would come at such a time, is a clear, miraculous prediction. The phrase, "the Antichrist's hand is pierced," means that he is a spendthrift. Just as we describe someone as wasteful by saying, "that person's hand is pierced," the Antichrist's pierced hand indicates that he is a person who cannot hold on to money, spending it on games, entertainment, and indulgence. The Antichrist will remain on earth for 40 days. Due to the intensity of the trials, the first day will feel like a year, the second day like a month, the third day like a week, and the remaining days will be like normal days. Said Nursi's interpretations provide a different perspective on understanding these hadiths. According to him, these events can be interpreted in 2 ways. First, the hadith may indicate that the Antichrist will emerge from the North Pole, where a single day consisting of both day and night lasts as long as a year, with 6 months of daylight followed by 6 months of darkness. Hence, a group emerging from the north will attack the civilized world with atheism and spread the idea of denying God in societies. Second, the hadiths could be referring to 3 distinct periods of the Antichrist. According to Said Nursi in his work, The Rays, these 3 periods are metaphorical days of the Antichrist. During the first day, which spans 300 years, the second day spanning 30 years, and the third day spanning a single year, the changes he brings about cannot be achieved in 10 years. On the 4th day, he will no longer cause significant change and will only strive to maintain his existing power. The Antichrist, like the 30 false Antichrists before him, will first claim, "I am the messenger of God," and later declare himself a deity. The number 30 in the Hadith likely signifies that many Antichrists will emerge throughout history. Many Antichrists have indeed appeared. Some scholars have referred to television as one of these 30 Antichrists because it often portrays wrong as right and right as wrong, promoting sinful lifestyles while discouraging righteous living. Hence, devices like television and similar tools are considered among the 30 Antichrists. The story of the Antichrist is described as one of the greatest trials in human history. His power, ability to use technology, and talent for deceiving people remind us to always stay vigilant. By keeping our faith strong and staying on the right path, we can protect ourselves from these trials. If you want to learn more about such important topics and dive deeper into their analysis, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos, and enrich yourself with our informative content. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you.